Hello, classmates. I'm teacher Guohar Huang. Today, I will introduce how to research the development of smart education systems in the first unit. In the research process of developing smart education systems, we need these 11 steps. First, we need to develop a topic and find the research topics in which we are interested. The second is that we need to collect information. That is to find relevant research information that has been done in the past on this topic. That is information from the literature. Third, we need to read the information, organize it into a PowerPoint file, and then conduct reports and discussions. Discussing with your teacher or other team partners is very important in the research process. We can write a proposal after reading 10 to 20 papers and a preliminary understanding of this research field. Then, we will start to develop our system. After the development is completed, we will conduct teaching experiments. During the teaching experiment, we will collect scores and questionnaire data. And then, we will analyze this data and finally write it into an academic paper. We will then submit it for publication. Above is the entire research process for the development of smart education systems. First of all, let's talk about developing a topic. Doing research is not easy. It can also be challenging, so combining it with your interests might be better. The second is that it will be more efficient if combined with the field that matches your expertise. Third, discuss with the teacher whether the topic is appropriate, because sometimes our interests and expertise may not lead to success. Furthermore, in the literature search process, it's important to conduct a comprehensive search. This involves looking for journal papers, which provide detailed analysis and discussion, conference papers that present the latest research findings, master's and doctoral theses that offer comprehensive studies, and academic books that provide a broader understanding of a field. As for journal papers, they are divided into journals with indexes and journals without indexes. Journals with index are divided into SSCI, SCI, EI, AHCI, TSSCI, etc. SSCI here means the Social Sciences Citation Index, SCI means Science Citation Index, EI means Engineering Index, AHCI means Arts Humanities Citation Index, and TSSCI means Taiwan Social Science Citation Index. These are usually articles with less guaranteed quality for journals without an index. Therefore, please read the journal papers with an index, as they offer higher quality and credibility, enhancing your research and understanding. In our smart education, the commonly used relevant international journals are related to digital learning. Our smart education is deeply rooted in digital learning, keeping you informed and knowledgeable. These 6 journals are our most commonly used SSCI journals. If you want to submit a paper about smart learning, consider submitting to these 6 journals first. In addition, students are also encouraged to participate in some related international conferences. The 2 conferences I often go to are ICCE and GCCCE. ICCE, the International Conference on Computers in Education, is a platform for researchers, educators, and practitioners to share their insights and experiences. It is held from November to December yearly and typically includes keynote speeches, paper presentations, and panel discussions. GCCCCE means the Global Chinese Conference on Computers in Education, which is held at the end of May every year, or sometimes until the beginning of June. Both ICCE and GCCCE are formal international conferences, providing a professional platform for the exchange of knowledge and ideas. This formality ensures that all participants can engage in meaningful discussions and presentations. The ICCE is purely in English, and the GCCCCE is in Chinese and English. Because it is a global Chinese, It also accepts papers in Chinese. These conferences are truly international, involving scholars from more than 3 countries. This global participation enriches the discussions and provides diverse perspectives, making the conferences a unique and valuable experience. In Taiwan, the most significant conference is TWELF. TWELF means Taiwan E-Learning Forum, which is held every year around March. In addition to this, you can get the master's theses and doctoral dissertations from the National Digital Library of Theses and Dissertations in Taiwan. However, recently, many master's theses or doctoral dissertations have been controversial, so I do not encourage you to cite them directly. This caution is because these theses and dissertations have not undergone anonymous review. You can also get master's theses or doctoral dissertations from university libraries and websites of each institute, or send an email directly to the author. When reading literature, mainly English and Chinese papers are used as a supplement. The reason is that we do research, and we hope the research results will be distributed worldwide. So, the materials we refer to should also be reference materials from all over the world. English papers should still be the main ones. While English literature should be the primary focus, there are instances such as regional studies where Chinese literature may be more relevant. In such cases, it's important to strike a balance, reading English literature predominantly but using Chinese literature as a supplementary resource. The method of reading is that you can convert the paper into a presentation file, PowerPoint file, sentence by sentence. Every figure or table should be retained, and you should be able to explain its significance. The most important thing is that after we have read a paper, we should organize it into a briefing. A briefing should be brief. Otherwise, it is not called a briefing. Briefing should be simple and concise, so we usually use 20 to 30 pages as the principle. You will report for a long time if you have too many pages. So it is not a briefing, but a long speech. Please report a paper in about 20 minutes, no more than 30 minutes at most. This briefing must have a cover page. The cover page should include the title of the paper, the source, the original author's name, the reporter's name, and the report date. You can present the source in APA format. The second page of your briefing should be the outline. This outline should mirror the structure of the paper, providing a clear and guided path for your audience to follow during the briefing. You should also pay attention when making a presentation. My suggestion for each slide is to have a key point. This key point should be marked in the title. For example, this presentation's key point is Notes on Presentations. Each slide must have a maximum of 2 levels. This one is called 1 level. And this one is called 2 levels. Each slide has a maximum of 8 sentences. This is 8 sentences. Each sentence should not exceed 2 lines. Use simple and concise essential tips instead of a long paragraph like a Word file. Try to use more figures and tables, but less text, because we can better remember and understand figures and tables. Text descriptions are okay when reading, but not good when giving presentations. Next, you need to apply a simple default format. For example, my presentation has the default format. Next, it is recommended to use white as the background color. Because we sometimes need to print on paper, if your background is colored or dark, you will waste a lot of ink or toner. Then, remember to add the page number. This is the page number in the lower right corner. Why do you need a page number? After we finish the presentation, we may need to interact with the audience below. If the audience has questions, they can immediately tell us which page the problem is on. If you mark the page number, it will be easier for them to interact clearly and discuss with you You must keep looking at the audience when reporting the paper on stage. Don't speak too fast or too slowly. The volume should be loud because when we give a report, we are in a group. It's not a one-to-one speech. The volume should be audible to ensure that everyone in every corner can hear clearly. I just mentioned that you shouldn't go off topic. Grasp the time, and every second counts. Remember, a good speech is not about its length, but about its ability to captivate and efficiently deliver complete information in a shorter time, respecting the audience's time and attention. When giving a speech, we need to learn how to answer questions. You must think of how to respond in just a few seconds. This requires training, so it is essential to report on stage. When others have finished reporting, you should practice asking a question. Many students cannot do this part. The first is that they cannot find the question, and the second is that they are afraid to ask questions. Remember, finding problems in others' reports is not a critique, but a valuable skill in research. It's about developing your critical thinking. How can you conduct meaningful research if you can't identify any problems? Because doing research is to solve problems, you can only start researching if you can see any issues. So we must learn to see other people's problems, raise them, discuss them, and clarify them. So we should participate in someone's report, then ask questions and discuss them with others. The next step is to write a research proposal. This is an essential training. After we have reported 10 to 20 related literature papers, our direction will become apparent, providing a solid foundation for our research proposal. The content of a research proposal will begin with a research motive and purpose. That is, why do you want to do this research? You must have read relevant research and found that some areas can be improved, or you have found some areas that can be enhanced from real-life education sites. Even if you found areas that can be improved from the education site, you still must have literature to support it. It shows that everyone values such a problem and that it is a problem that must be solved. The next step is literature review. After having the motivation and purpose of this research topic, we need to find more literature to support it. The importance, necessity, and research gap of this study are as follows, where the faults of current research are. Finding this fault is where we have to play. We have to make up for this fault. Because this is smart education research, we usually need to do system development. So we need to do system design and development. Of course, if your study does not require developing your own system but using a system others have created, this part can be omitted. Yes, system development is a significant and big project. Next, we need to write our experiment planning. After we finish system design and development, we must prove that such a system is meaningful and valuable. That means it is helpful to students' learning or applicable to teachers' teaching. Therefore, we need to make an experiment planning and the schedule of our research. Finally, we should show the expected results of our study. When doing system development, we have several steps to do. The first is demand analysis. The demand may be from the needs of teachers, the needs of students, the needs of managers, or the needs of schools. Then, we can design the system according to these needs. The system design means we may need to design the database and the function modules. The next step is actually to implement the system. Even after the system is implemented, our work is not done. We must conduct a rigorous usability evaluation to ensure our system's interface and operation process are mature and user-friendly. When our system passes the usability evaluation and reaches a mature stage, we can use it for students and teachers. At this time, we will start to conduct teaching experiments or related surveys. We usually have an experimental group and a control group if we use experimental research methods. We must also prepare the questionnaire, pre- and post-test papers, and interview outline, because we have to prove that this teaching system is helpful to students. Usually, we need to test their learning effectiveness, that is, whether the system raises their knowledge or skills. We also need to plan the people who will participate in the experiment. We also need to plan this process. Make a table of time, location, personnel, and work content evident during the teaching experiment process. Then, we can start the teaching experiment, do pre- and post-tests, and fill in the questionnaire. This is the entire teaching experiment process. After the experiment is completed, we have to do the analysis. We will teach you the operation of SPSS statistical analysis software here. We need to analyze the experimental and control groups to see whether there is any significant difference between the two groups, such as whether there is a significant difference in their usage attitudes, self-efficacy, cognitive load, etc. We will introduce this part in detail later. In addition, we may also compare our analysis results with interviews or log records in the computer system. Sort out some possible phenomena or suggestions. When we already have the results and know the reasons, we have to write it into an article for publication. In writing the article, the paper format is the first thing to pay attention to. The paper format is essential because review committee members usually don't want to review when they see a wrong format. When I see someone else's format is incorrect, this person is very unprofessional and casual, so his research may not be good. Different journals may have various formats. The most commonly used format is APA format. When we write the paper, I suggest using the top-down writing method. That is, first write the title of the chapter and then write the titles of subsections. Then, the section may be divided into paragraphs. Then, we will write a title for each paragraph, and then each paragraph title will write the corresponding content based on this title, and the paper will be written. We also must do careful proofreading. My suggestion for proofreading is to read it out loud, because sometimes it is difficult to find mistakes. When we see a wrong word, we will still understand its meaning and not care about it. But when we read a paper word by word, we can quickly correct some wrong words, missing words, extra words, or bad expressions. Therefore, I think it is important to read aloud. You need to reread it if you find any mistakes in the reading. We have to revise the paper until it is perfect. When submitting a manuscript, you should pay attention to the format. When submitting a manuscript, you should check whether the format complies with the regulations. Furthermore, some journals or seminars have length restrictions. You can submit manuscripts to journals at any time, but conferences have a time limit, and after applying, you should attend. It isn't good to not go after applying. It is very unprofessional and will be blocked. Furthermore, our mentality must be healthy. The so-called health is that we work hard, but no one guarantees the submission will be accepted. So, we must know in our hearts that if it is rejected, we will revise it and submit it again until it is passed. Each research has undergone a complex system development process, teaching experiments, data analysis, and writing a paper. We have at least gone through these 4 challenging steps. I will not give up casually. I will keep investing. Of course, if reviewers reject your paper, revise it and submit it again until it is passed. That's the introduction to today's unit. If you have any questions, you are welcome to contact me directly. You can use email.